Larry tried to kill me.
Yeah. I was so thoroughly disgusted.
I mean, think about it. Why does it make you special to do what you do?
Packers jumping around. They rush 4. Plenty of time for John. Now squeezes, steps up in the pocket. Elliott can run inside the 10. Head first. He dives off the 5-yard line. My goodness.
Rushing 4, ball comes out of the hands of Newton. It's on the ground and still on the ground. Picked up by T.J. Ward at the 4-yard line.
There's also Brian Clady and Bob Miller. Third and long 3. Going deep. Oh, and he's got Thomas. Goodbye. Touchdown. Here we go. First snap of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Stiff arm got him. Green to the 30. To the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on the New England. They win it on the first play of overtime.
And welcome to the show. My name is Mundungus Creevy, and I'm joined as always by my co-hosts Glenn, Cam, and Mr. Boggins. And you are currently tuned into the 5280 podcast on the MHRT Network. We are a fan-led Broncos-based podcast, filling you in on all things Denver Broncos. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, follow, and turn on notifications so you can know when we go live and when we post any other hilarious things that I decide to throw out there.
Tell a joke right now.
I don't know. They're all dirty, and I'm not going to say them right now.
Good one.
How's
Mike.
everybody doing?
Just another day closer to football, real football.
Yeah, I was good until Mike wouldn't tell a joke. But no, I'm fine again. I'm fine again. Yeah, football's around the corner. I'm excited. I'm going to be at the game. I don't know if I've told enough people yet. I'm going to be at the game. I better be at the game. If I die before the game, man,
You're going to be really mad.
I'm going to haunt so many people just out of pure anger and loss.
So nothing's going to change.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's just my life in general, actually. So, yeah, I'm excited. Football, baby.
It will be the longest week of our lives, though. I mean, like it'll be one of those things. Like it might. I mean, it's what, like a week, but it's probably going to be. Well, it's actually less than a week, but it's probably going to be one of those things. Like, it's going to feel like 2 weeks because of the actual anticipation of waiting for the Russell versus Seattle game, which we didn't think was possible.
Yeah, which, by the way, Seattle's going to be wearing their bright green, highlighter green uniforms. Like, how would this not be the perfect time to throw out the color rush and have orange versus green on the TV screen together?
We're like peas and carrots.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. You know how, like, Boise State is smart and they have, like, the same color uniforms as their field where it's like harder to see the players. The Seahawks were like, you know what? Let's make it as obvious as possible to see our players. I mean, it works great for the offense, but for the defense, maybe not so much.
See them from the space station.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can see Drew Lock clearly sitting on the bench. Which is,
oh, jeez.
I am pretty excited, obviously, to be at the game, but I am pretty bummed out that I won't get to hear the first because I will be at the game.
Well, and what I don't know is is Troy Aikman, is it going to be Joe Buck and Aikman?
It is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they switched to Prime, right?
No, they're
Amazon.
No, they
Monday.
they switched to ESPN.
Buck and Aikman are Monday Night Football, ESPN.
Yeah.
I just like the 5 seconds of consistently talking over each other, followed by another 5 seconds of silence.
Can we
We've
bring
done this
the
for a
next
while.
two youngest kids out here? They were the true stars of today. So.
That's how we roll. So we did get a little bit of news today. The Broncos did announce their 2022 captains, voted on by the players. Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Bradley Chubb, which I found interesting. Justin Simmons and Brandon McManus. McManus, I mean, obviously there's 2 offense, 2 defense, 1 special teams. McManus has been the captain for 6 seasons now? 7?
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, Bradley Chubb surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit surprising. I mean, it's probably one that that it was maybe his last year, and so they kind of made him into a captain, and I don't know. I'm trying to kind of make it into this positive thing, but no, there's no question it's definitely surprising. And they had some viable candidates. It wasn't just Bradley Chubb, but they had some other viable candidates, and they decided to roll with Bradley Chubb. I think the 5 that I had kind of in my brain for the 5 captains was McManus, Russell, Cortland, Simmons, and Bowles. Those were the kind of those were the 5 that I had for captains, but not Chubb. So it was interesting they decided to roll with Chubb.
I think I'm with KB82 there. I think I would have, instead of Bowles or Chubb, I would have seen probably Josie.
Or even Kareem. Kareem was another one.
Do you really want 2 safeties as your captains, though? I mean,
no, and I don't know about 2 safeties. I don't really care about that. I just don't. I don't. Kareem's kind of already, no offense, on the way out the door, and I think that these are more long-term-ish players outside of Bradley Chubb, which was a very interesting pick. But who knows? Maybe they're just trying to get them all hyped up, like
Well, I know Garrett
this is your season, baby.
Yeah, Garrett openly campaigned for captain, or openly showed his disappointment last year that he wasn't selected, that there was no representation for the offensive line. So I'm sure he feels the same way. Hopefully
hanging posters like it's a student president election. Bowles for captain.
No, I think he's proud of the fact that what he's become as a player, especially after the start that he had. I mean, there's no more resilient player on the team than him, in my opinion, based on the way the fans reacted, ourselves included. And when was the last time there was an offensive lineman as a captain on the team? So, maybe they'll expand it a little bit more. I don't think it takes it away if you add a couple more guys, but the Chubb thing did surprise me a little bit. I didn't realize he was very popular amongst the teammates. So
who knows? It could end up being maybe what Vic Fangio does, which is we're going to have a captain every single week of the regular season. It could be one of those things.
I like that. And then obviously the other massive news, after years upon years upon years of terrible quarterback play, Drew Lock, we have Russell Wilson locked up for 7 years with the Denver Broncos. He's got 2 years remaining on his current contract, but then he just signed a 5-year extension worth $245 million, $165 million guaranteed. So basically, all in all, he's going to make $296 million. He's going to make $24 million this season, $27 million next season, and then bump up to about $49 million per after that for the next 5 years. So he's locked in. And even though it sounds like a lot, add a discount, really, because I mean,
yeah,
as far as cap hits go, it still allows us, the Broncos, to go and sign other players or free agents in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the guarantees work, I mean, they could truly eliminate the 7th year and most of the 6th.
Yeah.
So it could end up being just a 5-year deal with a small payoff, and guaranteed dead money for the 6th. But I mean, I'm thrilled. I thought the press conference was a must see. You know, when you had Hackett, you had Peyton, and you had Russ there. Russ's stories were amazing. I mean, him telling the story about how Peyton had gone home, and Peyton had referenced it when he went home. He crashed, and a deal hadn't been done yet, but he was just so tired from being up all night the couple nights before for free agency or cut day, and his phone rings. He fumbles, disconnected. They call back. He answers it. He realizes it's Russ, Sierra, and Russ's agent, who ironically enough is named Rogers, Rodgers. So we did get Russ and Rogers. Part of the Broncos. But they were on there with FaceTime, letting him know they had a deal. George is in a fog, and he goes, "Cool." That was Russ amended the story to let us know what truly happened. But I mean, the rapport amongst the three, the collaboration that you're seeing on this team is really, really exciting.
Yeah, it was one that I think for that particular presser, like the only time you ever really kind of just felt like the jolt from all three of them was like his introductory presser, like where you could truly feel the energy and and everything from all three of them. And that wasn't just the only crazy story that he told. It was he even for Montreal Washington, who's now a friend of the show. Like he even said that Wilson was sitting in on some of these wide receivers and doing draft homework on some of these wide receivers that were in the draft, and they specifically, he specifically name dropped Montreal Washington. And sure enough, Washington, is a Denver Bronco, and I think that even alone should give Broncos some Broncos fans some excitement, because it's like, here's a quarterback who they are putting some full on trust into their quarterback to help make some of the decisions, or put a pin in the back of their head to say, hey, maybe we should look into this guy like Montreal Washington. And lo and behold, he's playing. He's playing really well for this team, and so that there were just a lot of really good stuff out of that presser, and the contract itself. I mean, it's just the best of both worlds. I mean, we've mentioned it before. I know Marcus and I talked a little bit about it on our. Actually, we didn't get a chance to talk. Well, maybe we did. I can't remember if you were on, Marcus, but it's a while ago.
Kind of a plug.
It's okay. Well, I mean, yeah, kind of. But anyway, we had talked about it, and I think that for the contract extension, it was just such a big deal, because it's like there's so many, like things going into the season, whether they were going to sign the deal or they were not going to sign the deal, or when were they going to sign the deal. Well, you don't have that weighing over your head anymore. They decided to go through the 53-man roster, and then not like literally right after the 53-man roster was finalized, you go through and you have Russell Wilson's extension, and it happened right around the point in time where even new ownership was rolling in. And so it just seemed like you were talking about maybe the sweet spot for the Broncos to really get a deal done for Russ, like right before the season. So it just was the best of both worlds. And because you 100% do not want a distraction like that going into the regular season. So it ended up becoming the best of both worlds.
Right. And Jeffrey Bryan says, cheap, just wait till the new cap numbers, which I get. I mean, this year it's a $17 million cap hit for Russ, then it's 22 in 2023, and then it's 35.4 in 24. And then it goes up to 55.4. But at the same time, you got to remember, like, the cap is going to keep going up anyways with new TV deals. And so I'm not. Plus, we have a new owner with a lot of money.
Pay cash over cap.
In cash.
Cash over cap. Yeah.
$55 million. Hold on. Let me go check my safe. Give me a second.
Well, they even had a transaction this week. I didn't know that the Broncos training facility or their
Leased,
headquarters was on leased land, and I guess the option to buy came up. It was like under just almost $10 million. They're like, fine.
Yeah, I just imagine like whoever runs that just like kind of peeks in the door. It's like, hey, 10 mil. Yeah, sure, yeah. I'm on the phone. I'm talking to China.
Yeah, I need to transfer from my other account.
Yeah.
See,
No, 10 million you don't need to transfer. It's in there.
sorry,
Found it in his couch.
Fine Corinthian leather. And it was great having money. We went from squabbling kids to like the richest guy in the nation.
Yeah.
right. And I'm like, I'm not going to complain at all. I do wish that the cap number was a little bit lower. There would have been more guarantees, but I'm not worried about it. He's not going anywhere. We got a bunch of rookie contracts. We just re-signed Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton. We're fine. I'm not worried about it.
We have Russell Wilson, who's a Super Bowl champion and is 33
Right.
years old, and we didn't reset the market.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
like-
much.
Great. I don't. Yeah, that's.
and
what's going on over there, Cam?
yeah,
Cam, we told you not to show that.
Silence your phone.
On.
that was actually kind of fitting, right?
If you're gonna film for your OnlyFans, you do it after the show.
He's watching videos for onlyfarmers.com.
Wow.
It's actually bro only fans, bro only fans.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I think that if you're looking at it, though, it's just such an important thing because like even with this contract, it's not even going to stay the way it is. Like, that there will be a point in time where there's going to be a restructure in place, and we're probably not even talking about, Russ being the only person that's going to restructure. There's going to be some other people that restructure, like maybe Simmons and Bowles, who end up restructuring. So I mean, so that alone will free up money. And to Boggan's point with cash over cap, I mean, I said it into our MHRT text, but it's just like, I still think about the time when the Kansas City Chiefs had like $500,000 in cap room, and they signed Chris Jones to that massive extension that they did. So that alone is proof that it is definitely cash over cap. So
wait till you start seeing all the signing bonuses come down the pipeline. You're like,
yeah.
There, I'm using KB82's joke as my joke. Walton is so rich he plays fantasy football with an actual team.
That's great.
Oh, good one.
Cam, you got to answer your phone. It's your extended warranty on your car.
It was actually a phone call from Russia.
Oh, the bride should be getting here any minute.
Das Papa.
Speaking of Cam and making him happy, so Carson Strong had a workout with the Broncos. Thanks for that segue, by the way. That was great.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was Russia. Carson Strong had a workout with the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think it went anywhere.
No.
But I am a little shocked that
people had him as QB1 going into the. Yeah, me too.
Well, yeah, that was dumb. But like, they have.
Yeah, you described his scrambling ability, not going anywhere. Yeah.
But it's like you got 36-year-old Josh Johnson on the practice squad, and you don't bring in apparently a like number one future quarterback. I don't know. In Carson Strong.
No, I mean, I don't even know why they brought him in the first place. I mean, I really don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Because even with Josh Johnson not being good, he is at least mobile enough to kind of replicate some other teams' offenses enough where what's his name again? Oh yeah, Carson Strong. He just doesn't have anything besides he's less mobile Drew Lock. Fun, right? That's what you want. I don't want that. Not even on practice squad. But I think he would be great like in Indy, where they also have a non-mobile quarterback. You know what I mean? Like replicate what you have.
Matt Ryan is
I mean,
the most mobile quarterback I've ever seen.
I'm not gonna lie though. I said that out loud, and then I realized that we have Russell Wilson and Brett Rippon right behind him. So I guess.
So obviously, it is football week. We have the very first football game on Thursday, and then a crap ton on Sunday. But it doesn't matter because the Broncos play on Monday. Thank God.
Oh, they play on Monday.
Play on Monday.
Oh, they play on Monday.
Yeah.
If only I knew somebody that was going.
Monday.
Oh, you do. It's me. It's me.
And you get to see Russell Wilson's return to Lumen Field, I think is what it's called now, right?
Yeah.
In person, where they can annihilate the Seattle Seahawks. Unless you're thinking there's going to be a shootout between Russ and Geno Smith. I mean, I know Geno Smith can air the ball out like nobody's business.
Yeah.
If it's a high-scoring game between Geno Smith and Russell Wilson, and you actually believe in your heart of hearts that that's going to happen, you must be feeling A, high as a kite, and 2, very comfortable that Geno Smith from West Virginia is coming in to Seattle with Tavon Austin and Stedman Bailey.
Yeah.
Like Mario said, he's not worried about any quarterback that's a flat earther. So, I think.
Speaking of Mario, if anybody else is in Seattle during that game, come on by. We're going to be tailgating. Actually, that was a bad plug because I don't know where we're going to be tailgating. I know of the place.
So
it's on my phone, but I was about to say an address. I don't know what it is. I would have to look at my phone. Don't know what it is. Just know that it's around the stadium somewhere.
So, Boggin, what is the menu at a Seattle tailgate?
What is the what?
The menu at a Seattle tailgate.
It's a lot of extra beer for my wedding. That's what the menu is. I'm gonna bring 48 beers. Come and drop it off. There's already a big potluck going on. There's Bronco fans in Seattle Facebook page that I forgot existed that I was a part of, and it was like, hey, is there a tailgate? And they're like, of course there is. And they sent me the link. And they're like, come on. I was like, okay. And there's 80 of them.
They sound aggressive.
Cars. Yeah, they were. They slapped me through the interwebs machine. It's a good time, though.
Oh, okay. I wanted to see if we could get some offensive and defensive expectations for the Broncos going into the Seahawks game.
Good.
We kind of think we know what the defense is going to look like based on last year. Hasn't really changed a lot. Obviously, with the new coach, it's going to change some. But are we thinking we're going to see the same old Broncos defense? Or are we going to see a worse version? Or are we going to see a better version? What are we expecting from the Broncos defense against the Seahawks?
I think the Broncos defense is going to look solid against their offense. I think they'll get some passes in just because that's what they like to play over the top anyways. And so you'll get a lot of under routes with Lockett, and they have two weapons in Lockett and Metcalf, so they will get some yards for sure. But that's about all I'm confident with. Their O-line is not great. They have added a couple pieces in Abraham Lucas and
Charles Cross.
Charles Cross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they have some bookends that have some potential. Their Kenneth Walker is injured still. They have Rashad Penny that kind of took off a little bit down the end of the end of last year, but their RBs can't stay healthy to save their lives. Oh yeah, Will Dissly and Noah Fant, forgot about them. They're there. Yeah, I think the biggest competition will really be between the Broncos offense and the Seahawks defense. I think the Seahawks defense is decently underrated in their secondary, and they've added a couple pieces. I know we are looking good on offense, but we are still new, and we still are waiting to see what kind of chemistry they have in game. But I also think it could potentially be a blowout. It could either be real close because Carroll knows Russ, or it could be just a Peyton Manning versus the Ravens circa, what was it, 2012?
2013.
I'm going with that. I'll go with option B.
Option Broncos.
Oh, snap.
Oh, shoot.
You know, I think that for like the season,
FarmersOnly.com.
I think that for the season in general, when you have like an offense and a defense, like, you know, consistently like in the top 10 of numbers, like, you know, like total offense and total defense, I think that, you know, you're going to be doing quite well for yourself. And especially for like a rookie first-time head coach, like, I mean, obviously, yes, you have Russell Wilson, but anytime for being a rookie first-year head coach, if you're in the top 10, you know, of your offense, and let alone maybe even top 7 to go with the defense the Broncos have, I mean, that's actually been one of the biggest askings for fans, is to have, say, an offense that is, you know, in this case, competent enough, right, to even move the needle. Well, now you have, in this case, something a little bit more than competent with the fact that you have Russell Wilson at quarterback. And so I think that, you know, for Broncos fans, just overall in the season, if you can have something within, say, the top 10, just pure balance of top 10 defense and offense, I think you'll be talking about some really nice production, maybe even resulting in, you know, a lot of wins of, you know, of where things are going. And so as far as Seattle, I still think that I still hold to the point where, you know, it's either going to be close or it's going to be a blowout. The Broncos will win this game. The question is just simply from the standpoint of, when you look at it from the standpoint of the game, and we talked about it even in the schedule release, but it's one of those things like, you know, for everything within this 4-game stretch, we had talked about it, you know, a little bit before, but it's like, you couldn't make a legitimate argument just because of all the emotions and everything that was going up and leading up to this particular Seattle game, that the Broncos against Seattle might argumentatively be an upset because of so many emotions and factors of going into a game like this. But with where the Broncos are at mentally, and with where they're at certainly physically and getting better and not even playing a single snap in preseason, so to speak, I would be surprised, very, very surprised, if it's actually a close game.
I'd be shocked if it's a close game, but I have a feeling it's going to be. You know, like it's just one of those things where our expectations are just so high. You just don't know what type of variables play into this. You know, Russ is usually pretty cool as a cucumber, but what are his emotions going to be like? You know, what are the fans going to be like to him? Is that going to have, what kind of effects that going to have? You know, what about, like Cam referenced, you know, rookie coach, you know, an inexperienced staff in terms of the coordinators and head coach position. I think they've handled things great so far. I love what they did in the preseason. We couldn't be starting out with a more favorable schedule to get on our feet. So, you know, with all that being said, I really do think that the Broncos it should just absolutely pummel them. I don't expect it to be anywhere close, but man, that would be absolutely devastating if the exact opposite happened.
Yeah. So KB82 had a question earlier in the chat. What's the chance that Montreal, Washington has a better season with KJ Hamler with him coming off an ACL injury?
Well, Montreal has a better seasoning.
Whoa, wow. And I also don't think Montreal is in Washington, but I could be wrong.
Nice of you to pass geography.
A better season? I don't know. I think they're going to be utilized semi-differently. I think that Montreal is definitely behind KJ in probably in mainly the slot position with him doing a lot of punt returning and kick returning. I think that he could potentially break out, but in a different capacity than KJ. I think KJ is going to be utilized a lot more. And I think, I actually think KJ is going to have a very solid year. I think that's the type of receiver that Russ really likes.
Yeah. So in your estimation, I'll just put you on the spot, Marcus. What's a good year for KJ?
I'd say probably. Oh, wow, it's rude. I'd say 800, 850. I think that would be a good season for KJ.
I was thinking roughly around like maybe 700 to, but if he can put up, say, 800, 850, that is actually a little bit more than I would have suspected. So if he can be able to put something like that together, I think that would be very, very impressive. And
so is KJ able to put up like 800, 850 while also having Judy and Sutton over 1,000?
That's what I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think it is possible. 2, I think that there's going to be a lot of focus on Cortland and Jerry Jeudy on the outside, because as much as like people like to talk about the lack of production, coaches aren't dumb. They know what Jerry Jeudy is capable of. They know what Cortland Sutton is capable of.
Shermer.
And and putting KJ in the slot against linebackers is going to be funny. Yeah. And they have to respect, and it's not like they can just be in 6 DB all the time, or like have their safety in there, have their nickels in there all the time, because they have to respect the run because of our depth.
Yeah. And I will say, if there's the window where he does get 850, I think he won't win comeback player of the year, but I think that there will be something where he might put himself in position as far as a comeback player of the year. If it's those kinds of numbers.
Okay. I can see that. Okay. Let's see here. KB with another question. Who do the Broncos have the best chance of sweeping in the AFC West?
Raiders.
I was going to say the same thing.
I agree.
Well, and we've been pretty consistent with that, and that it's the Raiders. The Raiders, are certainly the team that is probably the best. I will say, this is kind of a hot take, but I would not be surprised if we sweep the Chiefs this year.
I thought you were going to say Chargers, actually, Cam.
No, but I think there's a chance just because, again, like we're talking about a Chiefs team, that if you're looking at it from the standpoint of all the teams that got better, it was not Kansas City. I mean, they lost, Tyreek Hill, and we that is a move that and Boggins has talked about it before, but I mean, it's like that is a move that more people really do need to talk about as far as with that offense. And yes, I mean, Sky Moore is certainly, one that, for fantasy purposes, it's one that probably you want to stash away. But at the same time, it's like you're only projecting what he could be with a guy like Patrick Mahomes. He's a rookie, so he could come out like incredibly slow out of the gate. And so you're talking about a wide receiver room that, sure, it has Juju, TikToks, Smith-Schuster, and a bunch of other, players like McCole Hardman and, so on and so forth. But I mean, like, there are so many things with this Chiefs team, and their defense is, at times been a liability, and so it's just one of those things. Like, the Chiefs very well could be a team, even though they have Patrick Mahomes. You might be looking at it from the standpoint of Patrick Mahomes could be the Aaron Rodgers to Russell Wilson. And we all know the rivalries that were happening between Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Like, they were great. They were absolutely great between those two. And so who knows? The Broncos might actually be the team that ends up being the greatest rivalry for, Russell Wilson and Pat Mahomes.
I'm not putting that comment up. I'm not going to do it.
You mentioned TikTok, Cam. Did you guys see the clip of Tyreek Hill? And he was being asked about, would you be handcuffed to Jackson Mahomes if it ensured that you wouldn't know? And they couldn't even get the question.
He didn't even finish the question first. They were like, would you be handcuffed? Hell no, I wouldn't.
Like, no way.
Like, no, wait for the question.
It didn't even, like, the whole question. You wouldn't have even known what he was asking until all he heard was Jackson Mahomes and handcuffs, and that was all.
And it was like, would you be handcuffed to Jackson Mahomes for 24 hours if you would win a Super Bowl the next season? He was like, I can wait.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. It's the only favorable thing I'll say about Tyreek Hill.
So since we're talking about the AFC West, does Denver win the West?
I don't think so. I think they would really have to jive. I think they would really have to jive. I think that's going to take a season. I think next year, especially with the cap number that we have Russ at the next couple of years, I think it's very possible next year, especially not knowing what's going to happen with Kelsey coming up down the road because he's getting pretty old. He's like 75 and a half now. But I think this isn't the year for them to take it, but could they? Yeah, I do. I really do think so. I think we've been very close the last couple of years. People don't talk about it enough. We were very close to beating the Chiefs many years in a row. And I feel like Russell Wilson will help those chances. Yeah. Same with the Chargers, except we smashed them. Yeah. And I like it's funny is the team that we all talk about being able to beat the easiest out of those three, we've lost to some of the second most out of any of those teams. So I think it is very possible, but I don't think likely.
I mean, we keep talking about the offseason acquisitions for the Chargers, but at the same time, like, I just don't trust that. Like, they always have a lot of offseason acquisitions, and then they just crap it down their leg at the end of the season. So
but they have more now.
And so, I mean, if we're talking about, obviously coaching is a big aspect of a football team winning. We've seen that over the last 6 years. So you have to give it to Andy Reid. That's why, like, I've said, like, I don't think the Chiefs are going to win the AFC West. But if you're looking at the best coach team as of right now, because we don't know what Hackett's going to be yet, Andy Reid is the best coach in the AFC West.
Absolutely.
So you kind of have to give it to the Chiefs until they show that they're not going to win it. I just don't trust the Chargers, nor do I trust Josh McDaniels. So I don't know. Like, the Raiders secondary has nothing. So
they traded their best corner.
They're going to get thrown on all year. So I think the Raiders come in last.
Maybe also the Chiefs,
my orange and blue glasses are like, we're going to annihilate the AFC West and win.
Also, the Chiefs have the hardest schedule by far
in the beginning part of the season.
Just like in general, just like tough. We have a last little run, but I still think our schedule is laid out absolutely perfect for us. You get the Seahawks game out of the way, you get a couple of easy games, you get a little sprinkled rivalry games kind of early to get those out the way, and you're building your chemistry and and then you hit a bye week, and then you come back, and then you have pure hell. Yeah. But you get to build yourself up, take a little quick break, and then you're back at it. Like, I think it's perfect.
And I mean, even the 49ers in week 3, like, I know it's the 49ers, but at the same time, it's only Trey Lance's third start, and we don't know exactly what we're going to get. So
that one's going to be,
and I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm not saying he's going to be good. We just don't know.
That could be hit and miss. That could be because you have no idea what Trey Lance is going to look like.
I also drafted him in my fantasy league, my important one. So that was a bit of a reach. I went for it though. I believe in Trey Lance, and this is going to be hopefully not that game though.
No, totally horrible in that game.
I also drafted like 9 players in week 9 with the week 9 bye. So don't listen to me.
R.I.P.
Brad Smith, so excited for the first game, taking the day off Tuesday in Australia to watch live at 8 a.m. Go Broncos. That would be the worst night of sleep. Like, you have
to, humble brag.
Like, before the game, you gotta go to sleep and then wake up and then watch the game. That would be the worst night of sleep ever.
Well, how do you even watch football? Isn't it over there? Isn't it reverse over there? They play it in the opposite direction. I feel like that would be confusing.
Wow, that was a
what?
What are you talking about, Pockets?
I've never flushed the toilet, Bogdan.
Goes in the opposite direction. Landon wants to know who we think the MVP is going to be.
The MVP is in the team MVP, or
I'm going to go with the NFL MVP. Because I don't think it's going to be Rodgers for a third straight year. Not going to happen. And like, I want to say Russ because he's never gotten even Cordell Stewart and freaking Chad Pennington had an MVP vote, and Wilson doesn't even have one. Ever.
That's shocking.
I'm going to say Josh Allen.
That's who I was going to guess.
You think so?
Well, I said it first, so I win.
I'm going to go Russell Wilson. Here.
I said first.
I just feel good about seeing someone else's jokes bomb for a change.
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with a little bit of a wild card. He probably could have been in the MVP conversation last year. Obviously didn't get it. And who knows with what they're gonna do? Down there in the AFC South. But I'm gonna say Jonathan Taylor.
Wow.
You think so?
I'm not confident in it, but that's kind of my. I mean, but
you're honest. I gotta pick someone. Someone already said Josh Allen. Someone already said Russ Wilson. Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
Done.
so you could call me a contrarian. Yeah, so I mean,
lock it in.
There are only 6 players that are presently playing that have won the MVP.
The other one that I kind of had on my radar was Cooper Kupp.
If he didn't win it last year, he's not going to win it this year. That was like a historical year, and he didn't even get it. So, no chance. No chance.
I'm going to go Tom Brady.
Boo.
Just because, like,
Bree's not here anymore.
I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be his last season. So I'm just going to go with it. Well, you already said Russ. What am I supposed to say? Russ, Allen. I'm not going to say Mahomes. Screw that. Maybe Herbert.
Oh.
But I'm going to go. I'm going to go Brady. I'm going to go Brady.
Wow.
Or Mahomes, Herbert. Or Carr.
Say Herbert. Okay.
Or Etienne. And literally Carr. Anybody.
And he said Etienne. Okay. I'm going to write that one down.
All right, so before we head out, season prediction for the Broncos. What do you got for the record?
What'd Bill say?
19-1.
He said like 10-12, like all
10
kinds
of
different stuff.
One of them.
One of them.
I'll say 11 wins.
Yeah,
11-6.
I think that for me, their floor is 9-8. This is just talking about just in general. Mm-hmm. Their floor is their floor is 9-8, but their ceiling I think is right around 12 to 13 wins. And so I think that puts me personally at that 11 wins as well. And so but I mean, again, like as I said about ceiling, if it completely comes to a head for this entire team, would not shock me if the Broncos won 12, but I have 11-6.
Okay.
I'll go 12-5.
Wow.
It's got to be different than everybody.
Well, I didn't want to be, but earlier, but I got shot down. I didn't say it first.
Oh, KBA2 says he'll say Trey Lance for you, Boggins.
Aww.
MVP. Thanks. Bill said 10-9. No.
Actually, the way when Bill was yelling out numbers, it was like when you're at a roulette table and someone's having the dealer put the chips on the barking out numbers.
Or if someone's having a stroke, yeah.
Or almost like an auction.
Oh man. All right. So that's gonna do. I can't. Okay, that's gonna end the show. Make sure that you are liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, following, and turning on notifications so you know when we post, when we go live. And make sure you check out all the other podcasts. You got the Wild Wild West AFC West podcast on Wednesdays, 7:30, 6:30, 5:30, 4:30. It's going to be very fun when the teams are facing each other to hear what they say and how their team's going to win. And then Broncos Breakdown with Bronco Bill on Fridays at 8, 7, 6, 5. Plus, we have the Neighborhood, which starts game day on Monday. And that's going to be a play-by-play show with a halftime and a post-game show. So that's going to be super awesome. Make sure you tune into that. And then anything else going forward, we will announce on Twitter. So watch there as well. Thanks, everybody. We love y'all. We love the Broncos. Go Broncos. Screw you, Seahawks. And we
whoa. That's not.
You heard what I
very
said.
nice. You
I don't
can't
care.
just call the.
I just did.
Up, man.
I just did. And I hope the Drew Lock starts so that our secondary gets a lot of interceptions on game day.
He's not going to start.
I can't hope he does.
Farmers only done.